Today we're going to show you how to butcher your own chickens. So right now we're going to get one loaded into a killing cone. So this is it's just a vinegar jug or windshield washer gallon jug. It's nailed onto a tree. That's going to kind of hold him in place so he can't flop. So the best way to do it is to stick them. So you're going to come in right about there. That's where the main artery is. Right in here is the windpipe. You don't want to cut that. They have a tendency to flop more and carry on. So I don't cut myself. I usually go in the knife upside down, plunge through, turn, slice across the artery, and then you'll see it'll start draining pretty heavy. So in, turn, slice down, and he's just going to kind of relax and drain out. So while that's going, we've already got one down already. So you can pluck your chickens if you want. If you want to roast them, basically that's the only reason to pluck them. Think that most of your chicken that's bought in the grocery store is boneless, skinless. So we're gonna skin this chicken. So I make an incision there. I start opening up the hide. I pick it up and I'm gonna work my hand around the inside of the chicken. And what I'm doing there, as I do that, I'm just working the membrane off the meat. You're gonna find this can be a lot quicker if you're doing a lot of birds. And if you're just gonna cut them up and freeze skinless breasts and skinless thighs and whatever, anyhow, it's probably the best way to go. So the tail feathers, we'll show you how to get rid of those here in a minute. Just keep working it down to the head. So this is a young rooster from our laying group, so he's actually peeling pretty well. The older the bird, the harder they are to peel.
How old is this chicken?
I don't know. Let's call it maybe 12 weeks, I think is probably about right. So 3 months old. So flip it upside down. And again, just keep working it down through using your hands. You're not going to get a lot of wing meat off of these birds anyhow, so I don't do the whole wing. I just get to that point right there and I break it through.
If you chose to do the whole wing, would you follow the same technique?
No, I would pluck it.
Okay.
Because you're going to get into those big feathers down in the wing. These feathers, you're going to have to pluck those out if you want to do the whole wing. But like I said, there's not a lot of meat on these wings on these birds anyhow, just because of the age and stuff like that. So lay it on its back. I just use a pair of brush cutters that we just kind of have dedicated to this. So I cut the bone right there at the joint, cut the joint, move the next one. Again, you'll see there's a joint right there. Cut through the joint, or through the bone, and then just joint it out. Rest away your knife. You're gonna clean up the rest of these feathers later when you go inside and wash them. So same thing with the wing. Right there about the joint, through the bone, clip. Again, joint it, clip. Okay, so this is something I learned is, I don't know if you can see this, so when I go to cut the neck off, I pull the neck and get the gizzard and the windpipe down on this side of things, and I find that that makes it a little easier when I go to eviscerate the rest of it. So I just kind of run the knife around it, joint it a little bit. Pop through the neck bone, finish it. Okay, the tail feathers. There's a joint right there on the tail. Again, I just clip it, take my knife, I'm gonna run that all the way around and peel open the underside here. Now, these birds were mixed in with other birds. Normally, if I'm gonna butcher today, I'm not gonna feed them, in the last like 12 hours. But these guys were in with some younger ones, so you might get a little manure, we'll call it, might come out on you here. So if that's gonna happen, you just kind of hang it over the table and give it a squeeze. All right, so you see a set of ribs here. Comes underneath the bottom of the breastbone, comes down, turns. comes down, turns. Oh, I should also mention what I did right there. So the thighs were like this. I just popped the hip bones out just so the bird lays open so it's easy to work on. So cut right down along those ribs without puncturing the guts. Just kind of using the tip of your knife right down into that pocket. Now, this is just membrane here, so I'm going to cut a knife tip underneath that membrane, open that pocket up. So now we've exposed the majority of the intestines. Grab your bird, hang it upside down. You've made a pocket for your hand. Slide your hand up inside and pull them right out. So that gets all the lower intestines. You still have, that was a rooster, so there's a testicle. You have kidneys, lungs. I got the heart and liver all in one shot, so I ran my hand right up along the breastbone, got up in, and just kind of raked it out. So same technique on the lungs. I take my thumb, I run it underneath ribs, one lung, and the second. There'll be a little bit left in there. You can get that when you wash it. Same thing down in here. Get these kidneys. You'll see there's a little pocket and stuff. And this is kind of the hard part. I think they make a tool. It's like on a little stick with a sharp kind of wire thingy that you can scrape these with. I use my thumb. I get most of that out, and then when we go in, we'll go in and we'll wash these and we'll get the feathers off them that's left and stuff like that. And as you're doing that, you can get kind of fussy and clean them up the rest of the way. So there you have it. Chicken ready to go. And then what we will do when we get ready to process this, we're gonna fillet off the breasts. Those go separately. We take the thigh, we take the drumstick. I usually leave the wing on the rest of the carcass that we then boil down for chicken stock. Just because, you know, with these heritage breed roosters, that they're not going to be these big supermarket chickens. It's not going to happen. It's not in the genetics. So.
Now, do you process them right away after they've been cleaned?
So you mean cut them up? So what I will do is I will usually wait like 12 hours. We let them sit in the fridge. They chill down. The carcass goes through its rigor mortis stage and then relaxes. If you were to take this inside right now, cut it up real quick, throw it in the freezer. What I found, and this might be different with other people, I don't know. What I found is it makes the bird very tough because that muscle is in that tight rigor mortis phase and it's locked up. And if you freeze it at that stage and it's still got heat in it, it can't relax and it makes for a lot tougher bird. These will be very tender if you let them, like I said, sit in the fridge for 12 hours, let them kind of relax, then cut them up, then, you know, freeze them. Okay, all right, thank you for watching.